ABC 36 News starts now.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us for News at Noon. I'm Doug High.
And I'm Lyssa High.
Well, we're going to start today with breaking news. It is official. The wait is over. The Pope is coming to Lexington. Former BYU head coach and UK alumni Mark Pope has been officially hired as the new head coach for UK men's basketball.
Pope led BYU to 2 NCAA tournament appearances with a record of 110-52. He capped off his last season going 23-11 with a first-round appearance in the tournament.
Our sports team coverage ahead of this game. On all of this, ABC 36's Jeff Picoro and Forrest Tucker at the Distillery District to give us more information. Hey, guys, what do you got?
Well, I'll tell you what, Doug, I like that. The Pope is coming. Yes, the Pope is coming. He should be here this weekend. But, yeah, we're down in the Distillery District in the Barrel House Distilling Company and also the Elkhorn Tavern here, along with Forrest Tucker. And so it's official, and we just heard from Mitch Barnhart. And, boy, this has been a long 4 or 5 days, hasn't it?
Yeah, it feels like I've lived 2 years, and probably BBN's living vicariously through all of us who are living 2 years, and maybe it's aging me a bit, I don't know. But I'm happy it's over, and now we can start, Jeff.
Yeah, so today KSR was doing a live show down here, and Mitch Barnhart joined them. And one of the things he said, and this is something that we have been talking about, we've been throwing names out left and right over the last couple of days. Yeah, so the recruitment of Mark Pope, basically, if you want to call it that. Here's what Mitch said about finding Mark Pope.
Monday, and when you get news that things are moving, so you're prepared in terms of things that people that you might want to talk to and conversations you might want to have. But at the end of the day, I think people have this notion that the pool is massively big, and it's really more like a puddle of names. So a lot of moving pieces, and we sort of vetted several folks, and then walked through it and got to a spot where I had a really good conversation with Mark Pope, and felt like he had the energy and the passion and understands this place at a really, really high level.
You know, the other thing, Forrest, is, as we heard mention right there, is he was a captain on that 96 team, too. His final year at the University of Kentucky when they won the national championship. He runs a wide-open offense. It looks like it's going to be fun.
Yeah, they shoot a lot of threes. They try to make a lot of threes, and they share the ball. They are very high up in the assist rankings in college basketball. And also it's tenacity and toughness, and the latter is one that Kentucky has lacked, and we can definitely see it. The teams that have been on Rupp Arena's floor in recent years have not played defense the best, or had, maybe one guy who really carries the load. So here's Mitch Barnhart again on why he thinks Mark Pope's going to be a very big success here at Kentucky.
One is the personality side, and the other is the technical side. When you talk to the people in the basketball community, they talk about the unique offense that he runs, and the way he forces teams to defend, and then he makes them defend all the way out 27 by 50. So they come all the way out, and the way they break it down and they shoot the threes. They led the third in the country and made threes. They were first in, I think, 3-point field goal percentage or 3-point field goal percentage. So they were up there at least in the top 5 all year. Their offensive efficiency is high level. They were 81 points a game. So when I talk about why that fits in today's landscape of college basketball.
Yeah, and he's talking about there about tenacity and defense, just as you were just talking about. The next coach here, which is Mark Pope, they play defense, and that is what you have to do to win. But the other thing you have to have, and to me, this is, I think, one of the reasons that John Calipari left, is that there was a pot of gold in Arkansas for him.
Yeah.
And Mitch Barnhart today said something that I think surprised a lot of people, that since they honed in on Mark Pope, they've raised $4 million in NIL money.
That's just the power of the BBN, Jeff, and the big donors that we know of who were, flying planes every which way in this continent this week, maybe have chipped into that pot. And so that's the biggest thing is, can you come to Kentucky and be a part of a team that really wants to play for the state, because Mark knows what that's about. And then do you want to make a good living for yourself and your family? That number, Mitch Barnhart told us what it was.
We've got some people that have already stepped up over the last 24 hours. We've got several donors that have stepped up to put over $4 million in our NIL portfolio for Coach to work with to get started.
So you confirm that was reported earlier. You can confirm
Yes.
that's true?
I can confirm that's true.
Yeah, $4 million. That's a lot of money. And I thought it was very interesting, too, is that when asked about the players, when they ask him, what about the players that are there? What about the incoming players? Mark Pope has a couple of guys that he couldn't get to BYU that have already called him and said they'll come to Kentucky, right?
Yeah, well, it's not easy to be a Mormon, so maybe it's easier to be a Wildcat, hopefully. But again, maybe those guys are not of the caliber that it takes to play here. But hey, we're starting new, and everyone has their jury out on whether Mark Pope's the guy, and Mitch seems to have maybe made people a little more at ease. So we'll see who comes around. But those players, Mitch Barnhart said, called Mark Pope once he got the job and said, we want to come. And we're going to meet him soon, aren't we, Jeff?
Yeah, this weekend. It's Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be
Hopefully
down in
the
the
afternoon,
Arena.
yep.
It's open to the public. We don't have a time yet, but when we do, we'll let you all know. But one final thing that Mitch said and that we have all been saying is time was of the essence, and that's why they had to make the move immediately to try to get someone in here because of the situation with the transfer portal closing, with the players on the team, so he can meet with the guys that are already here and see if he can keep any of those guys as well. So it looks as though all systems go at Kentucky, and a former Wildcat is back at home.
Love to hear it.
Yep. For Forrest, I'm Jeff Pecoro, Doug, and Lyssa. Back to you guys in the studio.
All right, thanks, fellas. Great insight out there. Let's get to know Mark Pope here, our new coach. He's 51 years old. He's 6'10", tall. He knows the game. He knows Kentucky. He's been part of our history, a big part, and he's going to be making history here. I have no doubt.
I have no doubt either. He and his wife, Leanne, she's a former personal assistant of David Letterman and journalism major at BYU. And, of course, they are the parents of 4 beautiful daughters.
So listen to this. Sports Illustrated, back in May 2020, they ran a feature praising Mark Pope. The article said, in part, he's one of the buzz coaches in college basketball. He's winning games. He's winning recruiting battles, most recently beating Kentucky's John Calipari for the nation's top available graduate transfer. This was back in May of 2020. Sports Illustrated had their eyes on Coach Pope at that point.
That's right. And he also played professionally in the NBA for 9 years with the Indiana Pacers, Milwaukee Bucks, New York Knicks, and Denver Nuggets.
We can go on and on.
We can.
And we're looking forward to getting to know this coach.